Good afternoon, students. Can you able to see the screen? Are you able to see the screen? Krishna Sai,
Ma'am.
are you able to see the screen?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Shall we start the class? All of you joined? What we discussed in the previous class? In the previous class, we were discussing about use case design and UML diagrams. So in the last class, we discussed the types of UML diagrams with examples and how to use star UML, this freeware software tool to create the UML diagrams. Then we discussed the UML diagrams like class diagrams, interaction diagrams, state chart diagrams, activity diagrams, component and deployment diagrams. Then we discussed UML diagram, that is a class diagram. So we taken the example as a customer example of customer order management system and different types of orders like special orders and normal order. So how the class diagram will look like. So in class diagram, we will use the rectangles and it will have 3 divisions. The first column is used for, first row is used for specifying the class name, and second column for specifying the attributes or data members, and third row is used for specifying the functions. The association between the classes will be specified through the multiplicity. So it may be 1 to 1 or 1 to many, and the association can be, so here the order is the superclass and special order and normal order are the subclasses. So the generalization is represented using hollow triangle, and the labels are used to specify the role in the inheritance. The previous class we discussed how to use star UML to draw the UML diagrams. The same way we can make use of the virtual lab, VLabs also. So here, so the VLab is an IIT Kharagpur's simulation tool. So by making use of this VLab also, we can create all the UML diagrams, class diagrams and use case diagrams, state chart diagram. All the diagrams can be drawn virtually by making use of the VLab co.in. So here we have, they will have the introduction part, the various parameters, constraints, and how to make use of the various labels and diagrammatic components, and how to draw the diagrams virtually that can be represented using VLab. So we'll discuss this VLab after discussing the basic components. So the next diagram is called interaction diagram. So here the interaction diagram is used to draw the communication between any two components. Here we are taking the example of customer order management system. So here the interaction diagram shows the various functions and how the interaction is happening among the functions. So here the collaboration diagram of an order management system is represented. So note sequence is indicated by numbering the messages, methods and calls. So here we have the initialization process. Then from initialization we are going to the customer. And here customer is an object. So the customer sends an order. So the function send order is executed. Once the order is called, then it will go to the order function. Then if they confirm the order by choosing the other variables. So if the confirm function is called, then the special order will be placed. Once the order is placed, it will call the dispatch process to deliver the product. So we'll start the process from initialization and we will end the process once the process is completed. So these are the sequence of activities executed, like send order, confirm order and dispatch the product. These are the functions. So the corresponding objects associated with the process are customer object, and function will be executed, and based on the order it may be special order or normal order will be executed. So the diagram shows you how the communication among the various classes and objects are performed. The behavioral pattern of the classes will be specified by using the interaction diagram. So the next diagram is called state chart diagram. It shows the state of a class or object during a particular occurrence. Say in the state chart diagram, we'll have a start process and end process. So the start process will be specified using a solid circle, black. And the end process will have one more extra circle. So we'll initialization will be done. Then the initial state of the object will be initially idle. Then send an order request will be executed. So the intermediate, it is an initial state, it is intermediate state, and the transaction, during the transaction state, special or normal order will be chosen. Based on the order chosen, the confirmation of order will be executed. Once the order confirmation is done, it will go to the dispatch the product. And once the product is dispatched, the complete transaction is over, then it will go to the final state. So this is our initial state and this is our final state. So the state diagram shows the various states of our customer order management system. So in a state chart diagram, we will use the rectangles with the curved corners. Okay, any doubt in the interaction diagram and state chart diagram? Any doubt? So the third UML diagram is called activity diagram. For the same example of customer order management system, we are drawing the activities. We are taking the various activities in our process. So we will have the start of the process, and then the customer sends an order request. So it will go to the order request system, confirm the receipt of the order. Once the order is confirmed, check if the order is normal or special order. If the order is condition is checked. If it is a normal order, it will go to the normal order process, and if it is special order, it will come confirm the order. Once the order is confirmed, dispatch the order. The product will be dispatched to the customer. Once the product is dispatched, we will come to the termination state. So here the activity diagram takes all the activities in a sequence of process. So from the initial start of the process to the end of the process, the various condition checking and constraints will be checked, and the sequence of activities executed in the process will be specified by using activities. So if you take the component diagram, so the component diagram, if the project is very big, the project will be divided into so many sub-projects or components. So the various components and their interaction can be represented by using component diagram. For the same customer order management system, we are taking the, say the Java files are there. So the Java file corresponding to order will be executed. Then if it is based on the order, if it is special order .java, that particular function will be executed. Or if it is normal order, in the normal order .java will be executed, and the customer places an the customer function will be executed based on the order. That order will be executed. So here the various components are customer module and normal order module and special order module and a generalized superclass order.java. So these are the various components or various functions or methods which are executed based on the customer order management system. In component diagram, we will take only the various components. So the components are specified using rectangle symbol with the folded corner. So the next one is called a deployment diagram. For the same order management system, we are taking the various users and various components and other hardware software components. Say here the user is the end user and he is interacting with the system through the internet connection, and the modem is specified. He is accessing the internet through the internet cloud, and he is accessing the data from the server 1, server 2 as well as server 3, where the various databases and functions are stored, and process the various activities by using catching the server. The nodes or servers are connected with the nodes. The nodes will provide you the various order, special order or normal order and confirmation of the order. So here in the deployment diagram, the various physical and software components are specified, and how they are deployed in our system. Overall system will be specified. The users, nodes, servers, internet connection, all the links will be specified in the deployment diagram. So any doubt in the various types of diagrams? So far we discussed the diagrams like class diagram, sequence diagram, state chart diagram, deployment diagram, and component diagram. So if you want to, the next subheading is called user-centered design. So after discussing this, we will draw the diagrams using the VLab simulator. So if you take the user-centered design UCD, so it focuses on the users and the various functions associated with the project. So user-centered design is an iterative process that focuses on understanding the users and their context in all the stages of design and development. Each iteration of the UCD approach involves 4 distinct phases. So here we are focusing on 4 distinct stages. First one is understand the context of the project. Second one is identify and specify user requirements. Then design phase and evaluation phase. So whatever may be the given project, we need to understand the context, domain, the problem statement. Then based on that, we'll go for user, specify the user requirements, functional and non-functional requirements. Then we'll go for the design using the UML tools or other design tools. Then evaluate and assign the requirements. So this is these are the stages you will follow in user-centered design. So the various characteristics of UML or it is the characteristics of unified modeling languages. It is a detailed semantics. Here we will take the syntax as well as the semantics of the various components. It has extension mechanisms. So by using the inheritance, polymorphism, friend function, and templates, we can extend our processes and derivations like classes and other objects. It has an associated textual language. So the object constraint language OCL is used along with the UML to represent the various components. The objectives of UML is to assist in software development. It is not a methodology. So it is a design tool. It's not a methodology or a specification. So here we are using the object constraint language, OCL, to represent the UML components. So by using UML and OCL, now we are going to discuss how the use case models of our project or systems can be developed. So developing use case models using the UML diagrams. So the use case describing how the user will use the system. So here the use case diagrams or use case modeling is focusing on the various users and the functions associated with the project. So the use case is a typical sequence of actions that the user performs in order to complete a given task. So here we will take all the functions which are associated with the users, and the objective of use case analysis is to model the system from the point of view how users interact with the system and when trying to achieve their objectives. So the use case model, it will consist of the set of use cases, an optional description or diagram indicating how they are related. Say for example, in any use case model we have the scenario. So it will represent the particular situation or scenario. So it will have a specific actor at a specific time with a specific data. Say for example, so if you take use case diagram, these are the symbols we are going to use in use case representation, use case modeling. So we'll to represent systems, we'll use rectangles. To represent the use cases or functions or methods, we'll use oval symbols. The actors or users and various end users and other stakeholders are represented using stick diagram. And the relationship among the functions and the users will be represented using arrow. Say for example, here the user or the it may be admin or staff or student, he is associated with some use case or function. Say for example, this diagram shows you the school login system. So if you take a student registration process or school atmosphere where the students are accessing the material and lectures and classes, how that will be represented. So here we'll have student, the various users will be students, teachers and parents. So they are all are logging into the system. Then while logging, they will have the option of resetting the password and forget password, and based on the credentials, the admin will approve the login process. So in the back end, we'll have a admin as well as the staffs associated with the school. They will authenticate the people, whether they are registered students and teachers and parents. So like the use case modeling or use case diagrams will look like this. The same way we have your student administration process. So we'll have the register actor, add course, offering and add courses. So these are the functions. Register for a course, enter a grade for the course. Here with the users are student, registrar and professor. They are all the actors. So using this, how now we will see how we can draw the use case diagrams using virtual lab. Is there any doubt so far the UML diagrams and use case modeling? Are you able to see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you able to see the screen? Yeah,
Yes,
are you able
ma'am.
to see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
So far we discussed what is UML, Unified Modeling Language, and what is class, object, and various UML diagrams like class, object, sequence, state chart. So those are all the design graphical representations of your project. So we can make use of star UML or rational rows or umbrella or agree UML. They are all open source softwares available. In the previous class, we discussed how to make use of star UML to draw the class diagrams, how to install star UML, download and install. And by using the various components in star UML, we can draw all the diagrams. The same way, we have another tool, open source tool called VLab or Virtual Labs. It's offered by Ministry of Human Resource Development, MHRD, under the National Mission on Education through ICT. So here we can find all the labs in the virtual form. So if you go to this vlab.co.in, then we will enter into the home page. After entering into home page, are you able to see the screen? Are you able to see the screen?
Yes,
The
ma'am.
screen is visible. Yeah, what you are seeing? Can you read out what you are seeing on the screen?
Ma'am, the
Ministry
website
of
for
Human
labs.
Resource Development.
Okay, that is virtual VLab now. So if you go to this website vlab.com, then here we will see the broad area of virtual labs. So in that you choose your domain. So ours is computer science and engineering. So if you go to computer science and engineering, we can see the various virtual labs, say like basics of HTML, problem solving using solving lab, data structures lab, as well as VLSA lab, computer architecture and organization lab. Then we can find this software engineering lab also. So if you click on the software engineering lab, are you able to see the screen?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, if you click on the software engineering lab, that will bring you to the software engineering, the various components in software engineering virtual lab. So there we can find introduction, objectives, list of experiments. So here that will for each and every sub topic or module we are studying in software engineering. So if you want to design requirements for the problem statement, that the experiments and exercise related with the requirements analysis will be available in this module. The same way, project metrics. So these topics we will study in advanced software engineering, like COCOMO model and other SWOT analysis. And those things you can, the case studies and experiments related with that, you can see there. The third module, that is modeling UML, use case diagram and capturing use case scenarios, we can find here. The same way ER, entity relationship diagrams, state chart, activity diagrams, and other UML diagrams like class diagram, sequence diagram, modeling data flow diagrams, estimation of test coverage metrics and structural complexity, the testing and the complexity analysis, designing the test suits. So these topics, for every topic, the associated case studies, experiments and exercises and simulated lab versions will be available. So if you click on this, so our module 2 is related with UML, use case diagrams and capturing use case scenarios. So here we can study the use case diagrams, what is actor, use case, subjects, graphical representation, association between the actors and use cases. So everything, use case modeling components we can study here. If you click on this, it will bring you to the use case modeling, UML use case diagrams and capturing use cases. So here that will give you, here itself we have introduction part, theory, simulated version, case study, self-evaluation, procedure, exercise, references. So if you go to the simulated version, so that will display you the various simulated version of class diagrams, activity diagrams and other diagrams, how it is functioning from the simulated module. And if you want to try any exercise, so if you go, we can go for exercise, where they given you some case studies or project scenarios or project specification. So if you go to the project specification, so here they given you some exercise like exercise 1 and exercise 2. If you choose exercise 1, that gives you, select the So if you go to the exercise, so they given you one case study. So say for example, to draw the use case diagram for the following problem. Consider the neighbor traveling agent from when form. When you can purchase flight tickets, you can book your ticket. You need to provide details about your journey. That is on which date and which time you would like to travel. You also need to provide your address. The agency has recently been modernized, so you can pay either by cash or by card. You can also cancel the booked ticket later. If you decide to change your plan, then you can you need to book a new ticket again. So they given you the scenario of airline reservation system or flight booking system. So here the learning objective, identify the use cases from the given non-travel problem statement, identify the primary and secondary actors for the system, use the generalization of use cases and includes stereotypes and provide the redundancy in the coding phase. So here they given you the scenario or case study. So for the given problem statement, we need to design the use case diagram. So you have to design use case diagram for the given context or the scenario or for the given case study. So here in use case diagram, as we discussed, we'll have the various actors. So here the various actors will be the passenger or so we'll add the users as passenger and the various use cases are booking the ticket. So it is when we added the passenger, so the actor is passenger added. We added the function as booking ticket, so the use case is added, and change in the date and travel time, change in travel. So that is another use case, or canceling the ticket. So the use cases are 3 use cases are added: booking the ticket, canceling the change the travel time and date, and cancel the ticket. And the various actors will be admin, passenger and admin. We added passenger and admin as 2 actors. So for actors, the stick diagram, stick figure will be taken. Use cases, the oval symbols will be chosen. So for the given actors and use cases, I will try the diagram. So it will generate the corresponding use case modeling diagram. Are you able to see the screen? The screen is visible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So we added 2 users. So the one is admin, another one is passenger. They are the end users or stakeholders of our airline reservation system. Who are all the other users who we can add? So the various functions or cases, use cases or methodologies, methods are booking the ticket, cancel, change the travel time, date and time or flight, and cancel the ticket. So we have 3 functions. The functions will be specified within oval symbol: booking process, change in the travel process, cancel ticket process. So now we need to, they are all the various actors and various use cases or methods. Now we need to create the relationship between the people. So here we will choose the passenger, and the passenger is associated with a booking process. So we created one association. The association is passenger is associated with the booking process. The same way we can add one more process as login process. Now the login process also added, and we'll create another process like payment. So the payment process also added. Now we'll choose passenger is associated with the booking process. The same way passenger is associated with login process. First, you need to log in. So the one we created two associations. Passenger is logging into the system. Then passenger is choosing the going for booking process. Then the passenger is want to change the travel date and time. Three associations are created. The same way, passenger want to cancel the ticket also. So all the options are possible to the passenger. So now for the chosen associations or use case modeling, I will draw the diagram now. So are you able to see the screen?
Yes,
You got, yeah, you got the diagram now. So the passenger, he is an end user. So he is accessing, he is an actor or user. So the user is, passenger is accessing, going for login process. So we need to choose according to the order. Then he can go for booking process. The same way he can change the travel timing. He can cancel the ticket, or you can check into the system also. The same way we can add, if you want to add one more processes, check-in. So he is checking into the system. So we added one more use case or method called check-in. So now the check-in process is added. We want to create one more, the passenger want to say the passenger is associated with the check-in process. So that is added. So now if you redraw the diagram, so now we added one more method called check-in. So the passenger is accessing check-in also. The same way, we can assign the works for admin also. So the payment is not associated. We didn't create any association with payment. So it is kept separate. So if you want to create an association, the passenger is doing an payment. So now, then the same way we will add other associations like the admin. Admin is associated with approval of check-in process. The same way admin is, we'll add one more function called approve or confirm ticket. So the confirm ticket function also added to the use cases. Now we'll create an association with the admin with the confirmation. So the admin is associated with confirming the ticket. So the confirmation admin is having the authority to confirm. The same way check-in process. The same way that we'll create one more function called reschedule. Reschedule the travel. So we'll create an association with admin. Reschedule. So this also added. For the added, we added four more associations. For the new associations, we will redraw the diagram. So are you able to see the screen? So the passenger, he is an end user or user. Or the stick diagram, all the stick diagrams are represents the stakeholders or end users or users associated with the system. So the passenger can access booking, change the travel, he can log into the system, he can go for the travel bookings. He can change the travel date and time of flight, and he can cancel the ticket, or he can do the online payment to confirm the thing. And the same way he can check in. The same way if you go with the admin, so the admin is can also, he can check in, approve the check-in process. The same way he can confirm the ticket, and he can reschedule the flight timings and everything. So you got the data. So this is an use case diagram. So you got the idea how to draw the use case diagrams. The same way we can draw other diagrams also, other class diagrams, sequence diagrams, state chart diagrams, collaborative diagrams, deployment diagrams, mission, state mission diagrams. So all the diagrams we can draw. So here we need to go into VLabs. So in VLabs, we'll find all the domains like computer science, CSE, ECE, EEE, all those things. You choose CSE, computer science and engineering. Within computer science and engineering, we will find all the labs associated with CSE. So if you choose the software engineering, so within that software engineering lab, you will find the use case diagrams and use case scenarios. So they will give you the introduction part, theory part, simulated version, case studies, self-evaluation, procedures, how to do the things, various constraints and various symbols and terms. Then if you go to exercise, they will provide you some exercise. They are given you 2 exercise. So exercise 1 and exercise 2. So the exercise 2, they given you the scenario for drawing the airline reservation system for flight ticket booking. So here we need to schedule the traveling, flight and other things. We can book the ticket online, and we can pay do the payment through online, as well as if you want to reschedule, we can reschedule. The same way we can cancel the ticket also. So like that, they given you the scenario. For the given scenario, we created the actors or stakeholders as passengers and admin. And the same way we can add other things also, like immigration, as well as check-in, other people also we can add in the system. And the same way we are taken some use case functions or methods as booking ticket, cancelling the change in the travel schedule, cancel the ticket, login process, payment, check-in process, confirm ticket, and rescheduling the travel. So then based on the actors and use cases, we created the relationships. So so all our actors will appear here, and the relationship we need to choose, and we will choose the functions. Then based on the associations what we generated, we will draw the diagram. So here this shows you the use case diagram for passenger, flight ticket booking, cancellation and rescheduling. The same way the role of admin also. So you got the idea? Any doubt in this? Any doubt how to draw use case model? Shall we proceed with the next topic?
Yes, ma'am. So any doubt? Are you able to see the screen, PPT screen?
No, ma'am.
Now? PPT is visible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So what you are seeing in the screen, PPT? Use cases. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So far what we discussed is use case modeling or use case diagrams. So use case diagrams are very simplest diagrams that shows you the relationship between the various users and how the users are accessing various functions. The actual scenario or runtime, a dynamic behavior of the user, interaction between the user and the various functions in our system can be easily represented using use case diagrams. So here in use case diagrams, we'll use the following terms. So we'll use the term called name. So it gives you a short description, name to the use case. So we'll give some name as airline reservation system or a flight reservation system. So that is the name of the use case. And actors, list of actors who can perform this use case. So the various human being or end users associated with the system are represented using actors. Usually the actors are represented using stick diagram. And goals explain what the actor or actors are trying to achieve. So the goal is to book the ticket, change the flight ticket traveling date and time and other schedules, and cancel the ticket, do the payment through online. So that is our, so booking ticket online through the website is our design goal. And preconditions are state of the system before the use case. So preconditions means what are the things to be done before start doing the process, or the various constraints that need to be fulfilled before starting the process. Summary gives a short informal description. So the overall scenario and overall transaction is represented using summary. Related use cases are steps, describe each step using 2-column format. So usually we will specify users in one side and the various cases or functions in other side. And post conditions, state of the system in following completion. So before start doing the process, how the system, what is the condition of the system? After doing the transaction, how the system will look like. So the preconditions and post conditions specifies the initial state and the end state of the process. A and G are most important. So here A is the name of the system and G is various steps followed in the system. These two things are very important. So these are the terms we'll use along with the use case modeling. So if you take the use case diagram and the various use case descriptions, so we already saw in the diagram also. So the system is represented using the functions are represented using oval symbol. The actors or users are represented using stick figure, and relationship between the various functions and users are represented using directed arrow. So here user and he is associated with some function. So within the system rectangle, so many use cases, so many functions will be available. So here the diagram shows you the school login system. So the students are logging into the school information system. So student one, student, the students, teachers, parents are represented using stick figure. They are the users, and admin and staff also users. And the system is a school login system. So the system is represented within rectangle symbol. Within the system, we have 3 processes or 3 cases: login case, reset password, and forget password. These are the 3 operations we are specifying within the login system. So they need to log in, they can reset the password, they can change the password if they forget, and they are all the end users. The same way, the student admission process. In admission process also, we need the registrar, school registrar to give the admission, and we have student, we have professor. So they are the users, and the various functions or use cases are add course offering, add courses, find information about the course, register in a course, and enter grade for course. So these are the various methods or functions. So the add course offering and add courses are associated with the registrar, and the student can access, register for a course, and find information about the course. These 2 functions are accessible to student, and the professor can enter the grade for the course. The professor can access the enter grade and find information about the course. So we have 5 functions and 3 users. And what is the role of which functions the user can access and what they can do with the function is represented using use case modeling diagram for student admission process. So here they are giving the description how we are representing. So open file by browsing, read the use cases. So specialization of open file and include a browse for the file. The various actions are choose open, browse for a file, confirm the selection, system response, file open dialog appears and dialog disappears. So how the use cases will be designed means choose a particular file, then open the file, browse for the file, then confirm the selection of the file, then a dialog will appear. So this is the given scenario. So here the related use cases are open the file by typing the name of the file. Say for example, if you take, we want to create the use case model for open the file. So we know very well how to open a file in C or C++ or Java or Python. So the various use cases will be open your file by, we need to specify a file name, then we can browse the file. And the various actions are choose open command. We need to use the open command, then specify the file name, then open the file dialog. A system will respond to you by opening the dialog appears, then confirm the selection, then the dialog disappears. The same way, open file by typing the name. So in that case, here the use case scenario is open file by typing the name. So you will choose open command, then the open dialog appears, then select the text field, type the file name, then click open, then the dialog disappears. So they given you the use case scenario in how to create or open a file in the various steps and sequence of activities. So the same way open file by typing the name also will give the open command, the dialog appears, select the text field and type the file name, then click the open command, the corresponding file will appear, correct the file name, then open the file and the dialog will disappear. So any doubt in the use case scenario? So the basics of user interface design, usability, principles and user interfaces. So while designing the use case diagrams or use case models, we need to consider some basic user interface design and usability principles and user interfaces. So what are the principles and rules and regulations we need to follow while creating use case modeling means everything depends on fully knowing your users, including understanding their goals, skills, preferences and their tendencies. So first we need to understand the system, who are all the users, what are the functions available, then only we can go for use case modeling. This is important as once you know your user, it makes it easier to choose the right interface elements as listed below. So once you understand what are the responsibilities of the various users and what are the transactions they can perform and what are the functions they can access, then you can easily create the associations and interfaces. First, keep the interface simple. So we need to design the use case diagram with the simple concepts. Be sure to create consistency and use the common user interface elements that are expected. So for the various activities associated with each and every user, we need to create the user interface design. Choose your page layout carefully. So we have to create the page layout so that there won't be any clash among the users. If 2-3 users are trying to access the same function at a time, then the diagram will appear with so many cross or clashes in the diagram itself. Overlapping will occur. Always display the defaults. So you try to use some default conditions and follow the conditions so that the design will be simple and complex free. Visibility of the system status. So we need to visualize the system, how it will appear in each and every moment, and according to that the status and scenarios has to be chosen. A match between system and the real world. So you match the system with the real world scenario and activities so that we can easily go for design the user interface design. Consistency and standards. We should follow the consistency methods as well as standards. Error prevention technique should be followed. Flexibility and efficiency of the use case model should be adopted. So these are the condition, some of the points we need to consider while choosing the use case modeling. So any doubt? So far in the module 2, we discussed introduction to UML, modeling concepts, then the types of UML diagrams with examples, the UML diagrams like class diagram, sequence diagram, state chart diagram, object diagram, the various diagrams, deployment diagrams, collaborative diagrams, state chart diagrams, all those things we saw what is what. Then what is user-centered design we discussed. So user-centered design means we need to design our system based on the users and the various functions and the various characteristics of UML. Then developing use case models, how to create an use case model, and use case diagrams, the various notations and symbols associated with use case diagrams, and use case descriptions, basics of user interface design. So while making the user interface design in our use case diagram, what are the constraints or rules and regulations we need to follow, usability principles and user interferences. So these are some of the topics we discussed so far. So these are the usability principles and interferences. Then how to draw the use case diagram for the given scenario. The various notations associated with use case representation. Then what is use case diagram, what is scenario, how to create an use case model. Then UML characteristics, what is user-centered design. So in user-centered design, we'll identify the problem, then identify the specification, go for design solutions and evaluate. Then how to make use of virtual labs. So in the previous class itself, we started with what is UML, various concepts. So you go through the unit 2. So that is module 2, the basic concepts of UML, system models and views. Then the modeling concepts, then the diagrams and various components, and UML modeling concepts, then modeling concepts and associations, the diagrams. So the 9 diagrams, class, interaction, state chart, activity, deployment diagrams. Then what is user-centered design, what is scenario, and use case modeling. So you go through the content. Have any doubt, you ask me. Any doubt so far? Any doubt? Yeah, please answer your attendance for this this session, 2 to 3 session in chat box. Are you able to see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
So go through the concepts in module 2. The same way we can go for use case modeling for they given you 2 exercises. So any doubt in this use case design? The same way we can go for, they mentioned they given you this please answer your attendance for the 2 to 3 session. We'll have 5 minutes break. Again, we'll start by 3:05 to 4:05. So this is one scenario or one case study. The same way you can choose another exercise, exercise 1. So in exercise 1, they given you some other case study. Answer your attendance. Are you able to see the screen? Answer your attendance in the chat box. So in the VLab for software engineering, they given you so many exercises. So they given the exercise one, they given consider a library where a member can perform two operations: issue book and return book. A book is issued to a member only after verifying his credentials. Draw a use case diagram for the given problem. So the learning objectives are identify the actors and the use cases. So we need to identify the actors and use cases. Can you tell me what is the given scenario? Any one of you? Yashvi? Ganga? What is the given problem in the use case modeling? Abhishek, one of you tell me what is the given scenario? So here they given the problem as a library management system. So in library management system, we know very well that we will have a separate library, librarians and other library assistants will be there. So the students needs to register themselves, or they should get the library card. Once they become a customer or they become the member of the library, they can access they can get the books. So the book will be issued through issue process, and they can return the book. They can extend the due date also. So they can recommend the book to the library also. So those are the roles of members or the student member. The same way the faculty member can also register themselves as a member. After they getting the library card, they can access the book, they can return the book, they can recommend the book to the library. So those are the activities associated with them. So we can take the textbook as well as reference books also, as well as video, audio, lecture, CDs also we can access. The same way, the librarian, they can approve the member, they can add book to the catalog, they can issue book, they can access the book. So they as well as they can cancel the book, as well as they can modify the book number and the other things. So those are the activities associated with any library management system. So here we need to identify the actors and use cases. Here the actors will be the librarian, staff, members as student member as well as faculty member. Use cases will be issue of book, cancellation or return of book, adding books, and searching for the book. So those are the use cases. The same way, associate the use cases with the actors and draw the simple use case diagram. So we need to associate the use cases as well as the actors together. Then we can draw the use case diagram. Say for example here, so we are adding the actors as a librarian, library admin, so the library admin is added, student member, the student member is added, two actors are added. The same way we can have faculty member. So we are adding faculty member also added. Then we'll add the cases, use cases. So issue of book, issue book. So issue book use case is added. The same way we can have return book. Return book is added, and search for the book. Search book also added. Then we can have another as adding the book. Add book. So we chosen 3 actors: library administrator, student member, faculty member of the library. And use cases we added as issuing book, return of book, search for book, and add book. So these are the use cases. The same way we can add one more use case as log into the, if you are accessing through online, we can have login, or we can register themselves. Login or register into the library. So these are the various activities. So now we need to, now we'll draw for the given actors and use cases, we will draw the diagram, use case diagram. Are you able to see the screen? Are you able to see the screen? Kritika Jain. Are you able to see the screen? Screen is visible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Swati? Yes.
ma'am.
Yeah. Are you able to see the screens? So who are all the users of our system? Who are all the users of our system, Swati?
A student, faculty member, library admin.
Yeah. So what is the symbol we are using for to specify the users? Stick figure. So in the use case diagram, we'll have only 2 symbols. So one is a stick figure to represent all the users, human beings, or other stakeholders. And the cases. Cases are functions or methods or transactions or events. And these two, how the users are associated with the various functions, that is represented using use case diagram. So the association between the users and use cases are represented using labels, and associations, that is arrow, directed arrow symbols. So whatever specification we have given, 3 actors and 5 use cases, we got the corresponding representation. Now we need to make the association or relationship between the users and use cases. So now we will take the library admin. So he is associated with the login process as well as register for approving the members. So we created an association, library admin. He is associated with the login as well as registering the candidate to the library process. Then we will choose the student member. He is login to the system. So he is login to the system. 2 associations. Student member is associated with the login process. The same way, student member is accessing, searching for the book. So the student member is searching for a book. The same way, the student member wants to issue and he want to get a book. So student member issue book. The same way, student member, what are the things he can do now? He can access the book. He can return the book. So the student member returning the book, whatever book he has chosen. The same way, we will choose the library admin. He can add the book. So he can, the library admin is having the rights to add the book. So far we created some 6 associations. For the given 6 associations, now we will redraw the diagram. See, now we got the use case diagram. So here we have the user called library admin. He is having the responsibility or rights to add the book to the library. He can approve the login process as well as registration process, membership process of any user. So here, these two responsibilities are assigned to library admin. The same way we have student member, so he can search for, he can log into the library management system, he can search for the book, he can get a book from the library system, he can return the book to the library. So these are the functions associated with the student member. The same way we can assign responsibility for faculty member also. So you got the idea how to draw the use case modeling, how to draw the use case diagrams. You got the idea? So all of you answered your attendance. Okay, we'll have, because continuously if you go for 2 hours, the system Zoom will stuck, and it will not support more than 1 hour. So it is problematic for uploading the video also. So we'll have, I will end the meeting. Again, I will start the meeting after 5 minutes. All of you, and I will enter the attendance for this session. 2 to 3 separate attendance, 3 to 4 separate attendance. I will end the meeting. Again, I will log into the, I will start the meeting after 5 minutes. Is it okay? All of you answered for your attendance. So I will enter the attendance manually, as well as I will download the attendance report from the Zoom also. Got the idea? Shall we end the meeting now? I will start the meeting after 5 minutes. Who is the CR for this class? Vamsi Reddy.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, who is CR for this class?
Ma'am, I'm Swati from A section.
Okay, what about the B session?
Ma'am, Pratik.
Yeah, I think only 80 students logged in. So we have, our strength is 115. So CRs, you have to note down the absentees from your, I will forward you the absentees list to you. I will share the attendance with you, CR people. You please send your email IDs to my WhatsApp number. I will share the attendance from 27 July to till date. So we have so many people not attended the class for many sessions. So please, I am also sending the message to the mentors. So some people not yet logged in. So the CRs, you please message to your classmates, those who are not logged in so far, to attend the class. Okay, Swati?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I will send you the Excel file of your attendance for the first 3 weeks classes.
Okay.
Those who are not absent for so many classes, you please call them. You get the information why they are not attending. Okay. So I
Okay,
will end the class now. 5 minutes. Again, I will start after 5 minutes. Okay.